So I'm past 20 miles. I'm struggling with my hamstring. It's been playing up really for quite a long way. Well, I'm having to gut this one out, but I'll keep going. There's no way Manchester's going to beat me this year, so I'm going to get to the finish no matter what.
Manchester Marathon went terribly wrong for me last year with problems with my calves, which meant I had to DNF. I was absolutely certain that it wasn't going to go wrong for me this year and I was going to finish the marathon.
No, it's great. It's great to be here at Manchester. Let's hope that things go absolutely perfect. No, not let's hope. They are going to go perfect. We are going to run really well and we're going to enjoy ourselves.
So after dropping our bags off at the event village, John and I made our way to the start. He was in the red pen, which was going off at 9:10, and I was in the light blue pen, which was going off at 9:20. So after standing around in the start for about 30 minutes, we all got off on time and we were on our way to do the marathon.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we're off, and as you well know, those first few steps in a marathon are always a little bit nerve-wracking as you wait to see how they're going to respond.
Manchester 2024!
So my plan was to run between 7:45 and 8-minute miling. I wanted to start at a nice easy start with just over 8-minute miling and ease into the pace, which I did. So around about 4 miles just before we entered the city centre, I started to feel a little bit uncomfortable in my right hamstring. It was starting to cramp slightly and this was starting to concern me as it was so early into the marathon. I put it out of my mind and tried to soak up the atmosphere in the city centre. Despite the niggly hamstring, I was determined to put a smile on my face and enjoy the atmosphere. As we left the city centre, I passed the 7-mile point where I dropped out last year, and as I passed I thought, this is not going to happen to me again. So once I passed the 7-mile point, we started heading out into a slight headwind. Well, it was a little bit of a breeze, it wasn't bad, but I started to notice that my pace wasn't where I wanted it to be. It was coming in the range of 8 to 8:10 instead of the 7:45 to 8 that I thought I would comfortably run in at this stage. I wasn't particularly worried because I know that you can gain quite a lot in the second half by taking it steady in the first. The right hamstring was still niggling away and I was trying to manage it and hoping that it wasn't going to get any worse as the marathon went on. I'd gone through the halfway point in 1:46:38 and I could see this wasn't quite where I wanted to be, but I was determined that I was going to get to 20 miles because in my head I was still feeling positive, get to 20 miles and then really push on hard. It was at this point I saw John going in the opposite direction and that really gave me a boost because I thought he looked rather strong. At this part of the marathon there's a few inclines as you go over some bridges and it's a very open road, so you actually do get a little bit of the breeze in your face. The only significant climb came in Altrincham around about the 16-mile mark, but I tell you the crowd were fantastic. Manchester sure knows how to put on a marathon. What support? So after the excitement of Altrincham, the reality was starting to hit. I knew I was in trouble. My hamstring was really griping. It was not going to get any better. Up until this point, I was telling myself I could push on when I get to 20 miles, but the pace was starting to drop, and I was also starting to get an uncomfortable feeling in my stomach.
So I'm past 20 miles. I'm struggling with my hamstring. It's been playing up really for quite a long way, and I'm literally, well, I'm having to gut this one out, but I'll keep going. There's no way Manchester's going to beat me this year, so I'm going to get to the finish no matter what. Feel like that, hey ho, I'm going to get to the finish. Thank you. So, trying not to walk here. It's got a really bad stitch, so trying to jog it out. So, I'm down to a jog now. I'm really struggling. Just hit 23 miles, so just jog this one in. So, stitch is easing off a bit. Hopefully, push on the last couple of miles.
Well done.
You too. 25 miles and the stitch is back. Hamstring is in agony. Just wanting this to finish.
At this point, I was really emotional. I'd made it to the finish, but by God, that was a tough marathon today. Very unlike me, but I cried my way all through the finish area. I just don't know, I just felt so emotional, so mentally drained from the whole experience. Relieved because there were so many times during that marathon I thought I wasn't going to make it to the finish. But sheer determination got me there. It was great to meet some of the guys, famous faces from the telly at the end.
So it's the day after the Manchester Marathon, and I've now had time to reflect on what occurred yesterday. So my first thoughts are, it was a tough day in the office. These things happen, but you know, I'm really pleased that I actually managed to finish Manchester Marathon. And after last year's DNF, I was determined that it wasn't going to happen again.
Hello, it's me. So, Dylan, what do you think were the positives to take away from that training block and the race itself?
So the positives from the training block was that I managed to complete the whole of the training block. Every run went according to plan. Some were slow, some were fast. I did the right mix of training. I actually completed it without any serious illnesses or major interruptions. And yeah, basically I arrived at the start line, I think, fit and ready to go. No major injuries.
Okay, so that's a training. What about the last few weeks of taper?
So yeah, so I did a gradual 3-week taper, well 2 weeks really, and that went really well. I feel like I prepared as well as I've done for any marathon, so I can't complain about the taper. The last few days were nice and easy. Felt that my fueling was right. I got, you know, enough hydration in. Yeah, I just think it all really went well. I was really positive going into the marathon. You'll recall the night before I said I'm going to smash this. I had a real good positive mindset, and you know, in all honesty, even on the start line I felt this is my day, I'm going to nail this, I'm going to get a good time.
So why didn't you then?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Yeah. So obviously I've talked you through the marathon. In all honesty, I think mainly it was down to my hamstring. It was stopping me from moving forward at a pace that was going to get me a faster time.
So Manchester Marathon 2024, though not the total experience you wanted, somewhat better than 2023.
Yeah, absolutely. In all honesty, you can't fault the organisation and the support around the course. That was actually quite amazing. Everywhere you went, there was people cheering you on by your name. So yeah, that was great, and I did enjoy that. I wish I'd enjoyed it more, but that wasn't down to Manchester and the people that supported the race. That was down to the fact that I wasn't feeling great. So what's next for me? Well, I'm going to do a summer 5k training like I did last year, because I think that's really good for my speed, and if I have managed to squeeze into the England Masters team, it means I will be doing Chester Marathon in October. So yeah, so that's what's next in line for me. 5k training. I've also got the 10k race coming up where I did qualify for the England Masters, and maybe another marathon in the autumn, so look out for that. And what else is coming up on the channel? Well, we've got John's account of his marathon yesterday at Manchester, and that's quite a tale to tell. So if you've not already subscribed, do so please, and get over and watch his video in a few days' time. So for myself, I just want to say a very big thank you to everybody that supports me, everybody that's made some really nice comments, and I just love the fact that people are engaging with the channel, so please continue to do so. Yeah, it was great meeting so many of you yesterday who came over and said that you watch the channel and you enjoy it, so thanks very much for that. So from me, until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.